Hey listeners, Mallory Wilsey here, Chief Producer of the Enrollify Network. I get the privilege of working alongside all of the creators at Enrollify, but I wanted to take just a quick moment to tell you about why I love the application, the podcast hosted by Allison Tercio, AVP for Enrollment and Marketing at Siena College. The application is your playbook for the ever-evolving world of higher ed enrollment marketing. This podcast zeroes in on the niche, often unexplored areas of the field, delivering a potent mix of actionable insights, practical strategies, and cutting-edge perspectives. Some of my favorite episodes are on topics like activating your school's student influencers, mastering the student inquiry moment, and even a roadmap to web accessibility. Allison cuts to the chase and keeps you entertained in these short 30-minute episodes that drop every other Tuesday. You can subscribe to the show by visiting podcast.enrollify.org or just search the application wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Mission Admissions, a podcast that helps higher ed become better recruiters, communicators, marketers, and leaders. I'm your host, Jeremy Tiers, and every other week I'll share my candid conversations with industry leaders and difference makers from both inside and outside of higher ed. You'll walk away with advice, tips, and strategies to help you both professionally and personally. Mission Admissions is part of the Enrollify Network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher ed professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org or check out some of my personal favorites linked in the show notes below. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. You can learn more at element451.com. Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Tiers, and this is episode 40 of the Mission Admissions podcast. Last September during season 2, episode 29, I flipped the script, and instead of having a guest join me, I spoke about 3 things that could transform your career. That Quick Takes episode has become one of the top 3 most downloaded, so today I'm going to do something similar. I'm often asked what separates someone who is great at something from someone who is good or just okay. One of the biggest things is their habits. Habits and routines help all of us avoid complacency, and bad habits can prevent us from accomplishing our goals, and oftentimes they add extra stress and frustration. How many young people like starting conversations? If your first thought was 0, none, not very many, you're right. So then why do we keep asking, do you have any questions? Admissions counselors do that during high school visits, college fairs, phone calls, Zooms, when they lead information sessions, and when they have meetings with a student or family as part of a campus visit. Tour guides do it when they're giving a tour, and enrollment marketers, you're guilty of it too sometimes when you write emails and write text message language. You just might change the wording a little to say, reach out if you have any questions. Those things are bad habits that have to change if you want more engagement and action from students. If you don't stop doing them, you will continue to get a lot of one-word answers and hear things like, I'm good, thanks. Or you will continue to get no response at all. I can assure you that students have things they're wondering and curious about at every single stage of the college search process. They just don't know how to respond when you say some version of, do you have any questions? It's too open-ended. They experience what's known as question reluctance. On top of that, if you add in the fear of sounding silly and the fact that students don't know what they don't know, hopefully now you can see why I want you to never ask that question or something similar. Instead, I encourage you to be prepared to lead the conversation and always ask questions that are more direct, more narrow, and more intentional. I also encourage you to use a casual tone as well as words like you to make the question feel more personal. Oftentimes when our daughter comes home from school and we'll be at the dinner table, my wife, Jen, and I will ask her about her day. And so the dinner conversation at the Tears household used to go something like this. Olivia, how was your day? Good. Olivia, what'd you do in class? Listened. Olivia, what'd you talk about? Stuff. And then one day I said to my wife, let's try something a little bit different here. Olivia, walk us through what you did in each one of your classes today. And you kind of get the half eye roll from a 14-and-a-half-year-old that most teenagers give. But then she proceeds to tell us all of the different things that took place in each one of her classes, and as well as her lunch with her friends. The most effective questions will ultimately give the other person permission to provide you with context about different things, including their mindset and their feelings. Then once you receive feedback, your goal should be to keep the conversation going by taking what you learn and building on it. Meaning you can share something about your school or offer a tip that is helpful, but I encourage you not to just do that unprompted because it won't feel as personal and it lands a different way. One of the best questions to ask a student or a parent at any point during this process is, how are you feeling about fill in the blank? How are you feeling about making your college decision? How are you feeling about moving away from home? How are you feeling about living with a roommate? As you're having conversations, for example, with your admitted students in the coming days and weeks, consider asking them, what are you still trying to figure out about? Put your school's name in there when you picture yourself being a student here. Or what do you have left to do before you make your college decision? Or what are you worried about most when you think about making your decision? As you're starting to communicate with juniors or underclassmen, consider asking, how did you become interested in going to college? Or what kind of community and atmosphere do you want your future college to have? Or what do you see as the next step in your process? I would also tell you it's smart to ask questions that are direct, but also based in the negative, because it's actually easier for students or any one of us to talk about what we don't like or what we don't want. So for example, when you talk with a student at a college fair, during a high school visit, or even if they come to campus for a daily tour, you might ask, tell me about the wrong type of college for you. What kinds of schools would not be a good fit? And when you want more context, asking follow-up questions like, help me understand why you feel that way, or why is that important to you, are a great way to give you those additional details. Finally, if you're listening to this and you're in a position of leadership, the concept I've discussed today applies when you have one-on-one meetings with your team. As a leader, you need to be direct and intentional with the questions you ask your team if you're going to consistently find ways to help and serve each of the people who report to you. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. I love being able to share content that helps you grow personally and professionally. New episodes of Mission of Missions will continue to be released every other Tuesday. And in the meantime, if you have an interest in leadership, improving your mental health, territory management, or content marketing, check out some of my most recent episodes if you haven't already done so. Enjoy the rest of your day. Mission of Missions is part of the Enrollify podcast network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too. Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a number of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional. Our shows help higher ed marketers and admission professionals find their next big idea and feature a selection of the industry's best as your hosts. Learn from Jamie Hunt, Allison Tercio, Day Cabilds, and so many other amazing leaders in the higher ed space. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create more meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. You can learn more at element451.com.